Today we're going to learn about working in Paperspace and taking our logo, presenting it properly in a layout, and also putting our logo permanently up in this little corner right here. So let's take a look at these tabs. You have the modeling tab, which shows almost everything that I've done in regards to the logos and other things. We have this layout that I've created. And I did that because it has 4 viewports. So I want to teach you how to get rid of a viewport if you have too many. Adding them on will come later. And then we have a layout with just one viewport here. So again, we go back to the model screen, and this is everything. My instructor, when I learned this, told me to think of it like a car. You have all of the parts of the car laid out in the garage if you disassemble the car. Whereas if you want to focus on one part of the car, you can go to your layout. Not only does it have it all nice and designed here, but you can also zoom in on individual parts. So in this case, we have 4 different viewports. If I go down here and I click where it says paper, it'll switch to model mode. And then I can work my way around to the individual viewports. And I want you to think of a viewport as a sort of a window or let's say a monitor uh, hooked up to a camera. So you have separate cameras and these are individual monitors. You can focus on different things. But in this case, what we want to do is we want to just have one viewport. So you can either go down here and click on model and then it turns to Paperspace, or you click anywhere that is not a viewport, such as over here. Actually, it's a double click. It'll go to Paperspace. Now, Paperspace, this is going to allow you to zoom in on the whole sheet as if it is a piece of paper. Now, if I double click my mouse wheel, it'll give me a zoom extends. It'll go right into whatever's there. All right, so let's get rid of these extra viewports. So if I click on the individual line, you'll see that one viewport is highlighted. Delete on my keyboard. If I click this one, again, that goes away. And just keep doing it. Now, if I click this individual one that's left over, the first thing is I can expand it out a little bit to the corner. I can grab this corner, drag it down, expand it to this corner, and you have one big one. Now, if I zoom, I'm still in Paperspace. If I want to figure out what's going on inside of the viewport, all I have to do is click on paper, and now we have this. Now, if you're in the correct shading mode, you should see the nav cube. If it's not there, don't worry. I'm not getting into a lesson on how to get that to appear right now. I'm trying to keep this shorter than I usually do. But I do have the nav cube, so if I hit top, what happens is you get everything. If you don't have the nav cube and you're zoomed out and you can't see anything, double click your mouse wheel and you'll be able to see everything. If you don't have a mouse wheel, you can come over here and you have different shading options. You could also type in the command line down here, you could type in zoom. And then it gives you all of these choices to play with too. So if I hit extends, that gives me everything that I have. I threw the chair in just to show you kind of a size difference between the logo and like a full-size chair here. Eventually, you'll be drawing this chair also. All right, let's get to work here. So I have a whole bunch of logos. So I want to pick my, actually, I don't have to pick my favorite. I could just pick one of them. Let's zoom in on this one right here. And now, if you have your nav cube, you can highlight the one item, click on top, and then it'll zoom in on that one. If you don't do that, it gives you everything, see? So once again, oh, by the way, I'm zooming in and out by rolling my mouse wheel, and I can pan, which is this, by clicking and holding the mouse wheel down, and that'll allow you to pan. There's also a pan over here, but when you use that, you have to hit escape to end that command. All right, so once again, let's go ahead and highlight this and zoom in. And now you have your product that you want to show. Let's say you didn't want to show the logo. Let's say the chair was the assignment. So what you would do is you'd find the chair, highlight that, zoom in on that. You hit escape to get, when you have something selected like this, you hit escape to get out of it. But I'm going to zoom in on this. Okay, so that would normally end the lesson, but I wanted to take a moment, go to paper space. I want to take a moment to talk about how I got this this logo over here. So there's a couple of ways to do it. One is, if you see here, I can go to modeling space and then click here. I actually created a viewport right inside of here. So I can zoom in on anything I want that is on the model screen. Some people like that technique. I've used it for years, but recently I've realized that every time you start a new drawing, you have to have in your modeling space your logo floating around somewhere, and it's caused issues. So let me show you the new technique to do it. First thing is I'm going to go ahead and get rid of this viewport. So now we have nothing there. If I kind of highlight it, you'll see the only thing that comes up is lines. There's definitely not a viewport there. What I'm going to do is go to the modeling screen and I'm going to select the logo, and then I'm going to right click anywhere in the black area. Don't do it here, do it here. And you're going to go to clipboard and copy with base point. Then I'm going to click on the corner, go over to the layout tab, and now right click, go to clipboard and paste. And now you have the logo. Now the thing is, it's a little bit big right now. So what I can do is I can go ahead and drop it in the corner like this. And I'm going to get the scale tool. And I'm going to very carefully highlight just the logo. And I'm being careful to not pick out any of the lines in the drawing here. So everything here is done. I'll hit the space bar, and then it says specify base point. I'm going to start at the corner, and then I'm going to drag my way up like this. And I'm purposely dragging a little bit smaller. Maybe that was not enough there. Let's try that again. Let's go a little bit bigger. What you're seeing, by the way, up here is just leftover lines from the initial design. And I can go ahead and delete those later. It's not a big deal. All right, so I'm just very carefully making sure I select this. Now, actually, I'm happy this happened because it shows me, gives me the opportunity to show you a new technique, another one. Spacebar, click here. Now, last time we dragged open, and what happened was I have my snap on, so it's going to snap to whatever surface it's closest to. But in this case, I want to make it a little bit bigger. So using the zoom tool, and I know I showed you this last time with the logo, anything bigger than the number 1 is going to make it larger. Anything smaller than the number 1 will make it smaller. So what I want to do is 1, which will represent, keep it the same size, but then I'll do decimal point, let's say 0.5, and let's see what that looks like. That'll be an increase of 50%. Yep, I like that. That's good. So now, hopefully you won't have to do this because this is a little bit of a mistake on my part. I forgot to erase the line graphics that originally I used to create the logo. So now I have to go ahead and clean this up, which makes the video longer. Sorry. But it's a free video for you, so I guess you shouldn't complain if there's too much of a free thing. So I'm cleaning up my line work. There we go. That looks a little bit nicer. Now, I could go in and I could center it, but I think I like it kind of pushed in the corner like that, so we're good. Now, First thing is, well, not first thing, but one of the important things is to go ahead and save this. Um, I would recommend then, once this is on the clipboard, you can go back to your template, which is your original drawing, and you can see what I did is, um, because it's on your clipboard, you can go ahead and you can paste it anywhere you want. So I pasted this in, and then I saved my template. So anytime I start a new drawing, I'm already going to have my logo waiting for me there. Save. So with this, you learned how to basically control paper space, um, and you also learned how it's important to put your logo in, and a different techniques on how to do that.